The single biggest driver of the consistent quality of your work is your team's ability to do these 4 principles when it comes to your processes. And even just saying the word process, some of you watching this are allergic and you want to click away. Hang tight, stick with me. And some of you love the word process and SOPs, and this is your love language. And this is going to be important for you too, because one of those principles is simplify. And so the people who love process tend to overcomplicate this. I'm going to get into all that and walk through why I think making the process live where the work gets done is so important. But before we do that, my name is Gray McKenzie. I'm the founder at ZenPilot. This is yet another video in our ZenPilot methodology series. All 5 of these core operational principles work together. And so you can go to zenpilot.com/methodology, and you can see this page that I've got up in front of me right here, and read all the points plus the extra points that are often part of a team's methodology when it comes to project management and really delivering top-notch quality work consistently, profitably, efficiently, and all those good things. So to make sure you get videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got questions, you've got comments, leave a comment on this video as well. Okay, with that said, I don't want to spend a ton of time staring at a document. I'd actually like to spend most of our time looking directly into ClickUp and talking about what these 4 steps are, what this process stuff is all about. So I've got in front of me my home screen inside ClickUp. ClickUp's the tool that we're using, and if you recall the other videos in the methodology, we talked about, and you can see all of this on this page as well, but we talked about how we use due dates to create this, how we lean into a single source of truth. In our case, it's ClickUp. If it's not in ClickUp, it didn't happen as our catchphrase. We're prioritizing work using due dates, and here we're talking about making the process live where the work gets done. Now, I'm going to go to a ClickUp doc here, and I just want to talk about all 4 of those abilities. I'm going to give you the high level here in about 30 seconds first, and then we're going to dig into what it looks like in ClickUp. So creating it. How do we create process? So we're taking something that we're doing. It's not that there's no process. It's simply that there's no documented process, but there's always a process. So how do we create it efficiently? How do we actually get people to follow it? There's nothing more frustrating than, boy, I spent all that time creating this. And if you're one of those people who love process, you've for sure lived through this before. I spent all that time creating that documentation and nobody ever looked at it. And it led to these issues, and we didn't get any more efficient. We didn't improve quality. We didn't get any of the outcomes that we wanted. Well, the follow piece is critical, and that's why all of these habits work together. Improve is the next step, so there's no point for most things running the exact same process today that we ran in 2020. These things ought to be getting better. If we've built the system well, then we should be iterating and improving based on all of these cycles and feedback loops that we're getting. And the last step is simplifying, and this is the piece that my process-loving friends really need to take to heart, is this stuff should be getting simpler and easier over time. We should be moving on to new levels, not getting harder and more documentation. So I'm going to show you what this looks like, but those are the 4 principles or 4 abilities that we're talking about. So inside of ClickUp, here's what I would love to have happen. Because all of our work is in ClickUp, if it's not in ClickUp, it didn't happen. Because all the work is in ClickUp, I've got a list of tasks like this that shows up. When I click into it, here's my shutdown routine. When I say make the process live where the work gets done, what I'm really fighting back against or pushing against is those old school binders that used to live on the shelf, and they got pulled out once a year when people had to go through and look at them and then never referenced again. The modern equivalent of that is the Google Docs. So everything's buried in a folder somewhere, and nobody ever goes back to see how the heck did that stuff work? What is their actual process for it? So if you actually want to get team members to follow, like, hey, these are the checkpoints along the way, what do we need to do? I love having either a description here or a simple checklist. Hey, here's exactly what I want you to do, but it's right in here. So I need to click in anyways because I've got to track my time, and I'm going to move this to in progress, and I'm working through, what the shutdown routine is. And this is up side by side on my big monitor where I've got this on one side and then everything else I need to be in on the other side. So this process literally lives right in front of me. It lives right where the work is getting done. I'm going through ClickUp. I'm going to be going through my email inbox, and there may be some other components in your daily shutdown routine. But this is what I'm talking about when I mean, like, I want the process to live right in front of us. So this is a very, very simple example. All right, we're going to get into the weeds here, but I'm going to go to this is for a client. We're doing accounting services for YouTube. And part of the monthly bookkeeping process, if I zoom back out, you can see hey, we've got all these different tasks that need to happen. One of the first steps is uploading the bank feeds. Well, I can have down here a really simple checklist, but I love using ClickUp docs. ClickUp docs are so good now. They used to be, back in my day, when I was a ClickUp rookie, 2008, there was not a docs. 2018, there was not a docs feature. But we did have the notepad, and we had some things there, and then we rolled out docs not too long after that, and then a huge rebuild a couple years ago, and they just continue to get better and better. So now ClickUp docs are on par with Notion and some of the other great documentation tools that are out there. So here's some benefits to using a doc. One, so I'll just pull this up, and you can see I'm referencing it right from the description. I could even have a custom field that links to documentation, so I wouldn't even have to go out of, that could just show up. I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. That could show up. Here's my, my home view, and I could have just a link to the documentation custom field. It shows right here. I could click into it, and it pops right up. In this case, I'm going to go through the description to get to it. So I'm here, I pull it up, and you can see I've got an entire knowledge base. Here's all our company stuff. Here's our SOPs. Here's how we work and deliver services to clients. And one of those pages in here is, hey, here's how you're going to upload bank feeds. And so this is just be an example of, hey, here's what this ought to look like when it's all built out. So the way that I think about this, like what is great documentation? Most of the time, let's say that I'm doing this, once a week for clients. I know the routine. I'm in the habit. I don't need that coaching. All I need is just this really high level, what do I need to do? I've got to categorize the transactions, reconcile the account, do whatever I need to do. Those are my checklist items, kind of my bullet points of like, hey, these are the big building blocks. The next level of documentation, and that's all we really want there in a checklist, is we just want, what are the key steps we can't skip in the process that somebody with a base level of competency, like it's not their first time ever doing this, what do they need to know? Those would be the building blocks. So I don't want to put in every single step in the process that a rookie who literally just got hired today and they're starting and they need to go through it. I don't want to put all 400 steps that they need to go through because it's going to really slow down our people who are trained and do know what generally needs to happen. They just need, what are the guardrails? What are the high level things? But that's where this link document really shines, is we can give more context here, bullet points, and you'll see all these places where I've got insert loom overview for the step here. I love using a ClickUp clip, a loom video, a tele video, but plugging in some video along with it. And the cool thing about video and AI is you can take it, you can have it extract screenshots, circle stuff. You don't have to do anything else. And ClickUp AI is really good at building this out. So we might even want to prompt AI and ask for whatever we're looking for off of it, especially if we had a resource, a transcript from a video, something else to go extract. So the easiest way to build it is just I could take the transcript from this video that I'm doing, plug it in, and go from there. Okay, so I'm working a little bit backwards in this video. I wanted to give you, hey, what does it mean to make the process live where the work gets done? Well, that's what it means, is we've got more advanced documentation sitting in our knowledge base. But in terms of where the rubber meets the road and what people need in the day-to-day, you can see, hey, here's how you're going to go set up a new client. This is the checklist. This is what still needs to get done for this client. So we've got what are those steps in the process, all laid out there. We've got more advanced documentation if you need it available in that documentation. And one of the biggest benefits that the clients that we work with, the teams who we're serving, continually experience is they say well, can't I just put in the bullet points and that's good enough? That's fine. You're getting some of the benefit for sure by doing that. That is way better than nothing. So totally fine to start there. That's where everybody should start. One of the huge benefits when you go through and you actually build out some real documentation, and we don't prioritize everything equally. It's not like uploading bank feeds gets the same level of priority as how do we run a weekly client meeting. Like the weekly client meeting happens all the time, super important, one of the most important touch points that we have. So that's going to get more attention. We'll build that one first and improve that process first. Uploading bank feeds is a pretty straightforward process. But one of the huge benefits is you actually take the time to sit down and think through it, especially if you use AI to help you document it. But you can give it all kinds of different roles. From a customer perspective, how would I like to experience less friction in this process? If I'm an end user, how can I increase the level of quality, like the consistency of the quality? So a handful of different prompts are really helpful in building this. I've got a couple different custom GPTs that I use that have helped me out with this quite a bit. But you really want to take the time to think through, like, hey, how could we rethink, reimagine what this process looks like? And that's where a lot of the quality and efficiency gains wind up coming from. Okay, so I said I was going backwards. I just want to show you, hey, what does this look like? But I want to talk briefly about these other steps. How do we create these processes in the first place? So I'm gonna mix you up a little bit with a couple different terms. I'm gonna talk about templates, and I'm gonna talk about process. And so really a template is just one of the ways that we capture what a process might look like. So I'm gonna go to our template catalog here, and this is a list of all the different templates that we have saved in ClickUp. And I think I've got a bunch here in update needed. So you can see we're designing a logo or building out a social post or running a strategy meeting, running reporting, any of these types of things. But we want to have an owner for each of those processes, some cycle for improving it, and some type of workflow for, hey, what are these? What stages do these go through? First, there's an idea to build something. That's great. Like, let's get all this stuff in. You can give your team a really simple, like, template request form. We'll probably do another video on this whole process, but hey, how do we get ideas captured there? And then from that, we go to, all right, now this is in draft mode and then optimization mode. In another video, I'll talk about why I think this is super helpful to break this intentionally down and not just say a build mode, but actually, hey, let's draft it. Let's get all those ideas out. We're going to make it too complicated at first, and that's okay for the first run because we're going to go back and we're going to simplify it afterwards. So there really is a distinction between how would we build this out at first and then how would we want to optimize it. If you're one of our clients, you're familiar with the ZenPilot review process, and then obviously approve, saved, ready to go. So as we're creating processes, templates, they're all going to get mapped here first into idea stage. Then we'll begin building them. We'll build them here in our template library. So as you can see here, there's a folder for each of the different types of templates that we want to have saved. So we may have an entire project, an entire website redesign would be an example of a list template. We may have very specific activities that we're doing that are task templates, and there's different categories and types that we might want to use. There's view templates. There's a million different things that we could get into, and I won't lose you. Hopefully I haven't lost you yet, but I'm not going to try to lose you in all of those details. But if we go look here real quickly, so I'm giving you kind of like a quick overview, high-level overview of how do we create it in the first place. The following piece is crucial. So this is where I say these things all work together. If you have everybody on the team embracing that single source of truth, if it's not in ClickUp, it didn't happen. If your team is living by that policy and you are using, and we've got a video coming out on this one, consistent accountability, then you actually get folks following it. But the key thing is they've got to be shown the benefit of it. How does my life get better, faster, easier? So emphasizing, hey, this is simple. These are the checkpoints that we as a team have worked on together to build this out. They've been involved in building and designing that. That's one of the key pieces for buy-in is the folks on the team who are working in that area. They've got an ability to influence what that process looks like. And their buy-in is huge here. This is major. And then the biggest thing is decreasing the friction. So we can't have all that friction of, how you had to go to the Google Drive file before and you found the 29-page PDF that had everything. Well, now, it's all searchable in here, but it's built right into that task. So every task, you've got the checklist directly there given to you. In terms of the improvement process, this piece is really about looking at the results that happened from it. What was the quality? How many times did we have an issue with that process that we ran? And then what was the efficiency? And that's what gives us kind of our productivity index. We should probably do, if you'd like a video on this one, let me know, and I'll walk you through. This is part of what a ClickUp champion does as they're looking in the quarterly review process. This is part of what we're looking at, is what were the outcomes. Because we're tracking our data in ClickUp, we have good data on the outcomes, and we know how to go improve it. All right, well, that is your crash course on making the process live, where work gets done. If you want your team to actually follow the processes that you build, if you want them bought in to improving those and getting better results for your team, this is the path to go down and the way to go build your processes. Like I said earlier, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and check out zenpilot.com/methodology. And if you need help getting your team to have the right processes built, to actually follow them, to know how to simplify them and improve them over time, reach out to us at zenpilot.com/call. You can book a conversation with my team, and we would love to help you out. All right, talk to you in the next video.